Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. We are going to be getting into this new nail trend that I've been seeing all over Instagram. Well, I don't really know if it's new, but it's new to me. So I wanted to go ahead and try it and show y'all exactly how I did it. I also want to give a huge shout out to a few of my subscribers. I'm gonna list y'all up right here. And just thank you for being subscribed. Thank you for always commenting. I plan to do this in a couple of videos every now and then just to show my appreciation for you all. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So going into this, I have already put on my peely base and I'm going to be using these NotPolish square C-curve tips. Now y'all know how I feel about C-curve. I actually like how they came out and how they looked afterwards. It was just really hard for me to size them to my fingers. Like, that's the main part that I had a difficult time with. Other than that, the filing and everything else was fairly simple. I don't know why I had such a hard time filing them. The previous times I've used C-curve tips, which have only been like once or twice, maybe 2 or 3 times, but the filing was super simple. I did go ahead and I took a nail form, and when I was cutting them down, I just sized them up to the nail form, and I went to like around the inch. I don't know what it goes by. I'm guessing it's going by inches. So I did go to, no, I don't even know if it's going by inches. I don't know what that is. But I went to the number 4 on the nail form, and that's what I ended up sizing all the nails to be. Now, I did go ahead and do it with each and every nail, so you will see that repeated in this, and that is how I basically just sized them up to make sure that they were all exactly the same length. I still ended up at the end going ahead and putting my fingers together, making sure, just double checking to make sure that all of them were the same length. And I found this way to be very efficient, and it worked really well for me because a lot of the times my nails will actually come out uneven and like longer. Somehow, some way they come out longer or shorter than the other ones. So I'm probably going to use this one for sure if I'm doing other people's nails, but sometimes for myself as well. I also did have a hard time with gluing these down onto my pop-off method way, like the gloss topping that I had on my nails. I did have a harder time gluing these particular tips down than I usually do flat tips. And I don't know if it was because of the C-curve or what, but they were actually really hard to glue down on my nail with my nail already being prepped for the pop-off method. But I did eventually get it down. I just want to make note of that and let y'all know that they were a little harder to glue down. Now, they are not that hard to glue down if it is on a naturally prepped nail. So if y'all have not seen my last video, it was just an unboxing on dip powder. And as y'all know, I gave that dip powder kit away. Well, somebody actually bought it for it to be shipped to them. So I wanted to show you all how to make use of dip powders if you're not into dip powders, but for some reason you have them laying around your house. You can buy some clear acrylic and you can mix that clear acrylic with the dip powder, and it will make your dip powder set a lot faster than if you were just using it as a dip powder, because sometimes dip powders will not set the correct way. Now, I feel like I mixed a little too much clear acrylic powder in this pigment. Well, it's not a pigment powder, it is a dip powder, but I called it a pigment because obviously like it's a really dark color. But I feel like I mixed a little too much clear acrylic powder. I wish I would have mixed a little less to not make it so translucent or transparent, because it is a little see-through. But it was fine. I was just doing a thin layer because I was going over this with polish anyway. But if you are going to do this with your dip powders, just make sure that you're using a good ratio for the clear acrylic to the dip powder. You don't need too much, but to add just a little bit, just so that it will set a little quicker, is going to be to your advantage. So like I said, this is a dip powder that we're using. The only thing that I did was add clear acrylic powder to it and it ended up working out really, really good. The color actually was really, really pretty, you guys. Like, I'm starting to get into the fall colors. Y'all know Thanksgiving and Halloween and all that is coming up, so I wanted to finally go ahead and give y'all something with the fall color, even though I'm going to change it at the end with the polish. But this color right here is super, super pretty. I am on the prowl to get some acrylic powders, like actual acrylic powders that are these darker, deeper colors. So y'all will see a lot of videos with a lot of fall deep tone colors very, very soon. Now, even though I did not tuck that cuticle bead how I wanted to, like, I regretted it after the fact, but at the point where I really, really noticed it was when I started putting on the nail polish. So it was like really too late to even go back and do too much. But right here, I did try to fix it a little bit, but at that point it was drying up. So I just left it as is, just because I knew I was going to put polish over it. And these were supposed to, I wasn't even going to post this video because I didn't think that it would come out as good as it did. But that is why I didn't clean up the cuticles with a 5-in-1 bit or anything like that. Like, y'all are gonna see that when I get to it. If I don't even know if I put any filing in this video, but I did not really, I didn't use a e-file on this at all. I just used a hand file and a buffer. That was pretty much it, even with the cuticle area. But anyway, like I was saying, the application was pretty good for me anyway. Like, I thought it came out pretty decent. Everything was fairly even. So yeah, I was pretty pleased with how the application came out after it was all said and done. And again, I could have pushed this bead up into the cuticle area a bit more on the sides and tucked it a lot more. However, like I said, I was really just making this video just to show that you can make a dip powder into an acrylic powder fairly easy just by adding acrylic, clear acrylic. And I wanted to show you all the color and how they came out. But this video ended up turning into something more. So that is why some of the cuticle area was not as good as I usually make it, if you all were wondering at all. Now, I will say, just because you can mix clear acrylic with any dip powder, and that is pretty much a cheaper way to get more variety of colors as far as acrylic goes, I will say that sometimes you can see little specks in it, if that makes sense. But honestly, you can definitely get away with using this type of method if you are wanting to go the cheaper route, but you also will have to measure them out precisely to get the opaqueness that you want from the color payoff. So just be wary of that. But outside of that, honestly, go for it. Like, it's definitely a cheaper route to take if you are not wanting to spend $20, $15, whatever the case may be, on regular acrylic powders. I will say, obviously, dip powders usually come in smaller containers, so you're not going to have as much of it. But again, once you mix it with the clear acrylic, you will have a bit more. So it's all up to you. I do plan to experiment a little more with some more dip powder colors. I do have a couple from Your Nail Lab, I think McCart, and from Double Dip, so maybe I will try a couple of them out. I know for a fact glitter dip powders are perfect to do this with. They're super easy. They're even glitter dips are actually a lot easier to work with when you are just not even using clear acrylic with it. They actually go on fairly nicely, and you can just cap those. Since you are capping glitter dip or glitter acrylic with clear acrylic anyway, you don't really have to mix glitter dips with clear acrylic, if that makes sense, because you're going to end up capping it regardless. Even though this is sped up, I did leave a few moments in there where I am like cleaning off my brush, dipping it back into the monomer just to keep my brush a little bit wet, but not soaked to wet the bead too much. But that is what I'm doing. If anybody is wondering, I don't know how many beginners I have on this channel, but when I take my brush away, I am wiping it on the paper towel. I am dipping it into the monomer just a little bit, wiping it off, wiping a little bit of the excess off, and then going back to my bead on the nail. And that is just so that the bead does not dry up too fast and I'm still able to move it without any acrylic getting stuck in my brush. Now, I will say one thing about using a clear acrylic with a dip powder and a clear acrylic that you actually like and use often is going to make the consistency of your beads in acrylic quote unquote powder so good. Like when I say this is the type of acrylics that I look for them to be really like silky smooth, if that makes sense, like a buttery formula versus formulas that kind of just sit there and are kind of on the pasty side. So when I say I'm looking for different formula, or I'm looking for different acrylic powders, this is the consistency, you guys, that I like to purchase. So if y'all are looking for a consistency like this, I would definitely suggest you get NotPolish. Valentino actually has consistency like this. However, I really have not purchased too many acrylics from them other than this one particular acrylic called Bubblegum, I think it is, and it's kind of a transparent, like translucent type color. So I just never purchased any more from them, and their shipping was really slow when I did purchase from them, so I just never went back to purchasing from Valentino. But however, their acrylic was like really buttery when I got that one acrylic powder. Some other acrylic powders I've heard, I know, what is it? Get Nails by Jen. Hey girl, she told me that Chisel is a really good acrylic powder, and she really loves Chisel. I've heard good things about Chisel as well. I just have never tried them, but yeah, Nail Supply Glamour actually has really good acrylic powders from what I've tried from them. So those are just a couple that have a consistency pretty much just like this right here that you're seeing on camera. In the sunlight, this color to me looks like hot chocolate that has been watered down. Like, have you ever seen hot chocolate that just had too much water in it? Like, that's what this color was giving me, but it's super pretty. Like, I really like this color. Like, this is definitely a fall color, you guys. So I did end up showing some of the filing in this video. I'm not going to show every single finger, but y'all get the gist of it. The only thing that I wish I would have done differently, knowing, like, looking back at how this set came out, I wish I would have used my e-file to really clean up my cuticle area with my 5-in-1 bit. I wish I would have made it seamless so that the polish would go on a little more seamlessly in that area. But I am going to do this set again. I'm probably going to do it with different colors, obviously. And I might do it with a little longer set. And I also may do it going in different directions. So we will see. I do plan to do this another set. Hopefully somebody comes to me and wants to get that done. But if not, I'm going to be doing it on myself. I might even do that for a video next week. Because I really enjoyed doing this. It was pretty fun, and it really honestly did not take that long, you guys. Like, I did these nails super quickly, like really quickly. So yeah, I just want to let y'all know that the filing, make sure that you are sealing your cuticles with a cuticle bit, and make sure everything is seamless, because once the nail polish goes on, you can see literally everything. So now we are getting into the actual paint, you guys. And normally I would suggest you all do this with a nude color base, but since I did not plan to actually do this trend, this was like really last minute that I decided, oh, I might as well, since I'm doing nails right now, I might as well go ahead and try this trend. That is why the base of my nails is that color. But yeah, if I was to do this again, I would definitely do it with a nude base for the acrylic powder. And I would definitely make sure that I sealed my cuticles with a 5-in-1 bit. I did not mean to say a cuticle bit. I will make sure that I seal my cuticles with a 5-in-1 bit, or whatever you choose to seal your cuticles with, just so that the nails could look a lot nicer. I also would recommend you all doing this style in gloss, like a glossy top versus a matte top. I was feeling the glossy type top a little more than the matte at the end, but y'all will see the difference. I ended up doing the thumb, the middle finger, and the pinky in matte, and the pointer and the ring finger in gloss. So you will see the difference at the end, and let me know at the end which one y'all think y'all like the best, if it's matte or if it's glossy. Now, this is definitely personal preference, but I was going to try in this video to put a layer of each color down on each side. Then I was going to cure it, and then I was going to go back over it with another layer or another coat with each color on each side, and then blend it like that, just so there would be no peek through of the base acrylic color. That I feel like that's what I should have done. I guess there's different ways everybody does it. I don't feel like there's any like precise way of how to get this ombre, but I do feel like I could have done that and got better results. I also feel like I should have used maybe a old or clean brush to blend it down, instead of using this polygel brush to blend it. It worked, but I feel like something with the bristles that are a little more airy, I would say, and not so packed together, would have worked a little better for this ombre, just to make it like, I don't know, y'all know what I'm saying, like a feather-like brush, I guess, to make the ombre a little more seamless, if that makes sense. I wish I would have had one of those. Some people use like old polish brushes. They'll clean them off and they'll just use that. Some people use the same brush, and I don't know how they ombre with the brushes that they're using from the actual polishes. I don't know how they managed to do that, but I just couldn't. But those are things that I would do differently the next time I do it. I feel like if I do it again, like the nails are going to come out super, super, super nice if I do them again. So I'm really anxious to try this trend again. It's like a really fun trend to do. And it doesn't take that long at all. What else would I do differently? There's a lot that I would do differently, as I mentioned, but the most important thing is to not overthink this look. This look is actually like really easy, even though I was like on Instagram talking about how it was hard, and I went on Facebook and I was like, y'all told me that this was easy. It actually is really easy now that I'm thinking about it. Like, it is easy to do, and I just feel like I'm such an overthinker that I was overthinking the ombre, when really ombre is not that hard to achieve with polishes. You just have to like know when to stop, because if you keep going, like right here, it was fine. And I don't know if I stopped right here or if I put another layer on, but right here was fine for me to stop. I feel like even a little bit before then was okay for me to stop, but I just kept adding layers, And be mindful when you are adding these layers to this nail with the polish. The polish that you want to use, you want the polish to be a very opaque and pretty much thick polish. Not too thick, but in the middle of thick and thin. Like, you do not want it to be a super thin polish, or it is just not going to go your way. And you also want the polish to be very, very opaque so that the color payoff is not hard for you to achieve. So be mindful when you are putting it on the nail. You are going to have to layer this, but you don't want it to be so thick that it does not cure properly. And I did have issues with my thumb, I think, and my pinky not curing properly because I put so much polish on the nail. I'm sorry this thumb was out of frame. I did not notice it until after the fact, but the rest of the nails will be in frame for you all to see exactly how I achieved the design. I also want to point out that, okay, so when you are doing this line right here, this French line, you want to, or smile line, whatever you want to call it, you want to make sure that whatever side you're putting the polish down on this time is the opposite of what the base is. So if you see right here, the pink is on the side of where the base gray is, and the gray line is going on the side of where the base pink is. Now, obviously the base was cured before doing these lines or doing this French cut right here. So just make sure that your base is cured, fully cured, and then you are going to proceed and do this French or smile line, whatever you want to call it. So after I got those lines where I wanted them to be, I went ahead and cured it in the lamp for 30 to 60 seconds. And then I went ahead and top coated it with some matte top coat. Now, again, I do recommend that you use a gloss coat for these nails, this type of design. But I will say I just wanted to do both or try both to see which one had the better effect. And I found that the glossy one did have the better effect, in my opinion. So now I'm just going to talk you all through every single step to get this look. So we're going to place down the gray or whatever first color that you're choosing to place down. You're going to place that down on the base. I personally did not put any base coat or anything down prior to doing this. If you want to, you can, but for me, it was not a necessity. And then I cleaned it up right here, but really, you don't really have to clean it up. If you want to make the line super straight down the middle, half and half, then you can go ahead and do that. Again, this was me experimenting with this design. So this is my very first time doing it. So there are a lot of different ways that you can achieve this look. Now I am going to go in with the second coat, well, the second color, I should say, and I'm going to place it on the complete opposite side of the nail. And these are not going to overlap or anything until you bring out your brush or whatever it is that you will be blending with. Now, right here, as you can see, I am blending it upwards. I do not suggest that you do this. I found that it was much easier to blend downward from the cuticle to the tip or the edge of your nail. It just worked out better for me that way when I did it. I tried it both ways, and that is how the blend came out better for me. Right here, as you can see, just going straight from the cuticle all the way down to the tip to blend it is what worked best for me.
Oh,
make sure that after you are done polishing the nail and doing the design that you want to, that you are cleaning the sides of the nail before you cure it, so that nothing is bulky on the sides or uneven once it is cured, because you cannot change that after you take it out the light. So this is how they are looking before the French. So right now we just have the thumb that is all Frenched out, and the rest are just really vertical ombres, which actually looks cute just like this in itself. That's really, really pretty. If you want to keep them that way, you can, but if you want to take it a step further, then I'm going to show you all exactly how I did the rest of in the remaining of the lines. Now for me, this worked better with a damp brush versus a dry brush. I feel like a dry brush would have just soaked up all the polish and kind of just wiped it all away. So I did dip the end of my brush, or the tip of my brush, in a little bit of monomer, and I went ahead and then proceeded to ombre it with the brush. But I feel like, again, if it would have been a dry brush, it wouldn't have worked as well. So that is why I did that. So y'all, literally, I'm going to repeat each and every nail and do the same exact thing. The key things that you want to remember are making sure that you are not overthinking it. Use a light brush to feather it out. Basically, like, think of your ombre as being feathered out. What else? Make sure that you are using very opaque polishes. You also need to have a decent liner brush. I mean, this liner brush honestly is from Shein, so you can use whatever works for you. I use this one and it worked out fine. If you have a thinner one to make more precise lines, then that will work as well. And yeah, y'all, that was pretty much all that was to it. Just again, like, for the 50 millionth time, do not overthink it. It's easier than it looks. It looks very complicated, but it's really not. And once you get the hang of, once you do your first set, try it again. If it doesn't come out exactly how you want it, try it again, and I promise you it will come out a little better. So yeah, I'm gonna just let y'all watch this and I will be back at the end. And I don't know if many of you caught it in the last video, but I am doing another Q&A. So if you have any questions for me, whether it's personal or nail related, you can leave it in the comments below and I will answer them in another video sometime next week.
you, Nikos.
So yeah, you guys, that was pretty much all to the nails. I mean, I know it looked like a lot and it looked tedious, but it actually went fairly quickly. And y'all know I take a long time to do nails, but these nails did not take me that long. So I just want to give y'all some encouragement. If y'all do any sets like this and y'all follow me on Instagram, please tag me because I want to see y'all sets. But yeah, I'm just going ahead and I'm top coating them with some matte and some glossy. So that's why they will look a little different in the video and the pictures. But that was really all there was to it, you guys. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, let me know down below in the comment section whether or not you prefer glossy or the matte top coat, and also leave a question below for the next Q&A, and I will see y'all in the next video. I love y'all so much. Mwah. Bye.